Shadowrun Out of Nest and On Edge mini mission number 2 in the Shadows of London. Yes, that's it. Kara, that's very doubtful what you just asked me in private. After all, you would tend to lean more towards those who are not biologically augmented. But it looks like we have some characters who are interested in putting a stop to Melanie Redfield. However, there is a wrinkle in this, a complication, as it were, since the characters in question, Bishojo, where's my list? Hauser, Bishojo, Thrax, Killjoy, or not Thrax. No, you said Thrax wanted to do the other job, right?
Yeah, Thrax wants to stop the poacher.
Right. Okay. Well, who among you would try to organize this team for a job that has no payment?
Bishoja might do it. You know, again, this is her idea of fun. We're gonna go into the sewers and go shoot some things and beat the crap out of some troublemaker. Who's in?
Knowing Killjoy, he's probably just tagging along. He would have probably gone by himself, maybe. But, you know, tagging along. Why not? Have fun. It's good to have friends.
A fellow soldier wants to go shooting. I'm in. Let's get some tiger practice.
And Kira, you don't feel this would be something for Voin to do, or is Voin still grounded? All right, so Voin will not be able to convince her adopted mother to be permitted to go on this run. So we are faced with the problematic aspect that if Mr. O were to have Rin do anything in this case, it would merely be to collect information on this Melanie Redfield individual to try and get in contact with Mel, so Mr. O might be able to offer a business proposition. But that would mean that Rin would be at odds with all the other Shadowrunners who are looking for Mel, apparently, to put a stop to her.
Well, can I make a suggestion?
You may absolutely make a suggestion.
Mr. O might also want her to put a stop to the various roaming critters and stuff because she's drawing too much attention. It doesn't do any good if she gets herself headshot before he can hire her.
That's not this mission. Remember, there's two separate missions. Stop Melanie Redfield, capture the critters.
Okay, well then let me rephrase it. Stopping her from creating more of these creatures might be in his best interest so that she stays hidden.
True, but the rest of you, as I understand it, you all have a pretty strong bloodlust here. Am I right? Like, none of you seem to intend to take Mel alive.
Well,
Killjoy doesn't have a bloodlust. He's an artistic fellow.
Well, Hauser does have non-lethal rounds. Doesn't mean he's necessarily going in with only non-lethal rounds. But he will have some on him.
And Kara, Orchid's not available. Orchid is currently doing the other job right now. So, Kara, we'll say, well, you want Henry to be involved with the poacher job, if I recall correctly. Well, that was just it. Heinrich was supposed to go on that job, which means Novi would be out on that job. And Henry seems to like to follow Novi. Right. And the other thing is, I can't recall where I saved that picture that you sent me, Desperado. But I just recalled I should probably pull that out.
If all else fails, I could resend it.
Oh, it's definitely in my email. I can't click and drag from my email into MapTool. So I'm just seeing if I've already saved it and therefore click and drag it from there. Well, actually, right, I was going to get to that, Kara, is feelers, I imagine Bishojo would have put feelers out within the Shadow community about let's go fuck up Melanie Redfield for fucking up Lambeth, something like that.
Sure, and there might be some loot in this. Nobody's paying, but we can take anything that's not nailed down.
Right, so then Rin would theoretically, well, if not Rin, then Mr. O, after already giving Rin her instructions, or, well, I suppose Mr. O would send Rin to speak with Bishojo about a counter proposal. Is that something that would be workable for you, Kara? And Killjoy's reply is, with enough elbow grease, even things nailed down can be taken.
There's no need to be defeatist. Life is full of surprises.
I don't remember what I said the name of the poacher was. take it by the silence, the answer is no.
Samantha
looking it up
something? I
quickly.
remember it being a lady.
Miss Taylor. Yeah, that's all the name for the actual poacher herself is Miss Taylor.
Thank you kindly.
Is that Redfield?
Yes, that's what Melanie Redfield would look like.
Well, it must be warm in London.
But I don't imagine Grim knows where Killjoy's going, unless Killjoy / Carbon Copy contacts Grim.
About what?
About going on this job.
I don't think Killjoy would be informing too much.
Okay. So in that
Like-
case, go ahead.
I was just about to say that he was probably just going to go see himself if nobody else will going. But, you know, since others are going, why not tag along?
Okay. So Kara, I think what's best is if you take one of the pool characters, like the racist Irish brawler who probably lives in Lambeth and is looking to, get a bit of revenge for the fact that Melanie is fucking over her home turf. So, all right. So, what color border do you want for Sally the Street Ruffian?
Oh, Leary. Don't know it. Wiley, don't know it.
Red. Okay. And El Diablo, have you got a picture for this Aztec expert on magical threats?
One moment, I have something in my head, but I'm still looking for the perfect one.
So, Kara, pretty much all of your player character tokens end up having red borders. What do you have to say for yourself?
They go faster.
And is this Street Ruffian, do you see her as being on the small side, the average side, or the large size? Like, is she a dwarf, or is she a human who just happens to be small?
Oh, angry. Irish. Could be a leprechaun.
So I imagine brawling is her speciality.
Yeah. He's Irish.
So yeah, since we haven't made these characters, these are the temporary dice pools for this mission for them. This applies to all of the characters of that nature. So post that there as well. Now we're just waiting for El Diablo to get his. Excuse me. And
So yeah, I still haven't been able to find something. What I'm looking for, maybe other people have an idea where I would find it, is well, very tanned guy, kind of very long, curly, dark brown hair, and a very, very colorful suit, preferably with most of the front of the suit open to see as well muscled, bare-chested bits, as it were. Possibly chest hair.
is anyone going to be able to help El Diablo with that one? And El Diablo, do you have a name for this character?
Yeah, first name definitely Fernando. And last name something Aztec-y.
Okay, what about the street name? Or is he like that he goes by his legally registered name?
I think for a street name he just goes with Fernando.
And what brings him on this job?
Well, he might have some inkling that having this Melanie lady in custody, that would be good for some of my friends to maybe get in touch with her.
Your Spanish accent sucks.
I'll work on it.
All right, so looking for confirmation here of the team. Bishojo is essentially the leader. Sally is a local. Killjoy is interested in violence. Hauser is a compatriot of Bishojo, military to
Possible
military.
violence.
Oh, sorry, possible violence for Killjoy. And Fernando, if I spelled that correctly, is looking to capture Melanie for Az technology, which I imagine the rest of you are unaware of.
More than likely.
By the way, that pick might do, though imagine it a lot less dark and more colorful.
With a golden eye, I'm kind of thinking we might want to do the Spanish for golden eye.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Like
I think it would
oro.
be
I
something
think,
d'or.
yeah, oro. I think is the Spanish word for gold. Does anyone know what the Spanish word for eye is?
To Google.
Ojos.
Can you spell that out for me, please?
I believe it's OJOHS, but yes, Google Translate will probably help here.
I don't know.
Dorado.
Oro Ojo kind of sounds like an interesting name.
I like that. Ojo Dorado.
Sorry, can someone spell that out, like in text? Because I don't think I'll be able to spell it based on audio. No. Thank you, Desperado.
I can dictate.
But I can't listen to dictating.
I'll do something about it.
VT's not good at following dictators.
And what color border for Oro Dorojo?
Orange. A brighter orange.
Orange, oro, orange.
Oranjo Dorado.
Road El Dorado?
And is he average, below average, or above average in size?
I think he's a little below average.
Sorry, that was a little below?
Yeah, a little below.
Okay. Ownership for El Diablo. Okay. Took a little while, but oh wait, I also have to make him visible for you. There you go. So, it's all good?
Yep.
I believe so.
Okay, so this session is a little bit later than usual, so we might not be getting on to the second mini mission tonight, but that might just work better for a Bobob since he wanted to be Heinrich in that. And that would, give Kara the opportunity to play Henry. But yeah, so the way this works is you each get 10 rolls plus the number of other players in the team. So you all get 14 rolls since there's 5 of you. Be sure to label your rolls with both what you're doing in that roll and which number roll you're on. Edge is a limited resource as normal. For Sally and Ojo Dorado, both of you are human, I take it?
Yes.
So for now, I'm going to say you're both limited to 4 edge. We're just giving you the average for now. No objections, no concerns?
No, I hope I'll do well.
Okay. So you all have limited rolls, and you're not actually making these rolls against anything in particular. You're deciding as a team who's using up which roll, and you can trade rolls. So if you want somebody else to get more rolls, you can give up some of yours for them. Up to, in this instance, let's say 6. So you can give up to 6 of your rolls to another player. The way this works is you will all make your rolls in advance, and then I will make rolls based on how appropriate your actions were. So if you took a rational, well thought out plan and rolled and applied a skill which is appropriate to the situation, my dice pool would be limited. If you use a skill that doesn't really make sense for what you are trying to get done, then I'll have a bigger dice pool. You folks won't actually see what I'm rolling until the end. So plan ahead as a team with how you want to use your limited resources of your dice pool. But also bear in mind, you have to do these in a rational order for the narrative. You can't, like, roll combat first. Well, who are you fighting? You have to first get a target. So you'll have to declare who your target is. And in the case of Melanie Redfield, well, you're going to have to first figure out how you plan to get a hold of her. Also, if you reuse the same skill more than once, each time you reuse it, it's at a -2 modifier. So if you're in a prolonged fight, then each time you fight will be at a -2. However, number of initiative passes translate to basically a bonus of your skill rating in combat again for each initiative pass. So those of you who have lots of initiative passes and lots of skill will be really good at fighting.
Well, I believe we need to first find her.
Most of that audio was garbled on my end.
Really?
Was anyone
said-
able to hear Frosty?
I didn't hear the first one. I heard the Frosty say, "Really?" But other than that, I didn't hear it.
Well, I said that I do believe we first to try and find her. Killjoy does have a decent area knowledge London. So, don't know if that helps.
Helps more than Hauser's absent knowledge of London.
How much does Hauser have?
None. Just the one mission, 1 or 2 missions he's been on.
So I'll tell you what, have Killjoy roll his area knowledge, and then after that, say Bishojo can roll her tracking skill. So basically, you get us in the, one of those, well, if she was going to set up a lab, it could only be here, here, or here, and then she'll look for tracks from some of these biomodified creatures.
Perhaps I should investigate on the astral then perhaps, since I seem to be the only one with the magical knowledge. I'm going more French, yeah, well.
That could also work.
Bear in mind, these are genetically engineered creatures. They are not magical.
No, but still, there are things to see on the astral, I'm sure.
Oh, by the way, which skill would you say is the speciality of this uh, Atlantean magic expert?
Binding of spirits. So binding, I believe. That's a skill, right?
It is, yes.
Does anyone have any other suggestions how we should?
The suggestion has been made, I believe. So if you're willing to make that your first roll.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Like I
Since
said,
we
I
do
think
have
that would be the
limited dice.
best first step. Yes.
Okay.
These creations, they are such genetic abominations, if I may call them that, they are usually very lacking in essence, yes?
If you're asking the GM, yes.
Well, but also kind of asking the other team members.
But Shoujo would have no idea.
I thought she had some magic knowledge, didn't she? Or no, it's Mike who has the magic knowledge. isn't
Yes,
it?
Mike has
Magic.
the magic knowledge, but Shoujo just got what was in basic.
Well, I suppose I could roll my own magic knowledge for it. Because Ojo might have the idea to kind of do what you might call a reverse search. So instead of looking for high points in the astral or high auras, he will specifically look for places where magic is very where magic is very limited, or auras that are almost non-existent.
And then we ran into a ghoul's nest.
All right, and then, like I said, Bishojo can try a tracking roll. She's actually got a little bit of knowledge in that.
So I must say, it's wonderful to work with such a fine gentlemen and ladies. You all look like excellent professionals.
You should check your eyes. Maybe all that gold is blinding you, but there's a goddamn jester
Oh,
there.
and we have a comedian too, how wonderful.
So we're supposed to just come up with role ideas here and doing them?
Well, so you've done a couple of area knowledge rolls, I see, and tracking. You could track down the ones that are rampaging in the wild. These rolls aren't exactly helping you locate the hidden laboratory, assuming there's some hidden laboratory. But finding the critters that are on the loose, potentially, these could help.
Well,
Yeah, but if you know where, they leave tracks, so if you know where they're going, you know where they've come from.
Also, do any of you have maybe technical skills to maybe I don't know. I'm thinking a laboratory needs a lot of power. Yes, so if and Lambeth power is not that common. So what I'm thinking, if we find a place there, suddenly there's a lot of power going there, then maybe we find where that laboratory is. Yes.
could work. And yeah, my idea for tracking was to track where they came from.
Well, that's not how tracking works. Tracking is you're locating something where it is. If it doesn't, like, if this isn't the wilderness, it's not like you're following it back to its cave. This is an entity that has escaped the laboratory and doesn't appear to want to go back.
I think what Desperado means is Bishojo is trying to follow its trail from where it currently is back to the lab. Reverse tracking.
Well, first you have to find the creature. So what you've done so far is move towards finding the creatures.
All right.
I'm trying to decipher what the others is saying.
And no, it doesn't actually look like we have any hackers on our team, so
Yeah,
Is there some? Can I make a knowledge magic roll to maybe determine if there's some magical way to track streams of electricity or such? Does that resonate in the astral or something like that?
You could certainly make the roll. Remember, though, it's limited number of rolls.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I am asking if I'm not making a horribly useless roll.
I'm fairly certain the idea of this is that VT won't tell you.
I will say this. If you have questions about what your characters would know in character that are not immediately obvious, common sense rolls are always an option. Sorry, I don't know. Was I muted when I was talking?
no, you were not.
No, I'm just looking up what the numbers were for good skills, decent skills, that type of thing. Okay.
And what was the common sense roll? Although I don't think.
Common sense is logic plus intuition.
Since we're talking about Killjoy, I am abstaining using that, at least. For this. Not, most sensible person.
Remember, you need to number those, how many rolls you've made.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I've updated your token for you, Ojo. Oh, Bishojo. Doing an edge reroll doesn't count towards your total. So if you decide to use an edge to re-roll, it is still the same roll.
I think I will take advantage of that then.
Not a real glitch. Yeah. But between Hauser and Bishojo, you are aware that Melanie Redfield has attempted to contact Shadowrunners to track down her creatures and capture them for her. She's put herself out on the market.
But was that directly or through a fixer?
It was, if I recall correctly, there was no fixer involved. She literally put out feelers herself online, basically.
Well then,
Why don't we
guess we
answer
can
the call?
I'm guessing some social skill rolls might be appropriate there.
Indeed, but what is your intent with these social skill rolls? You'll have to declare that. Like, are you trying to convince her that you're taking the job?
That's the sound of my brain working.
No, who wants to call?
Also, do we have, well, like, would we in character have gotten a picture or something of Melanie Redfield?
No, just descriptions at this point.
Because I just realized if, since I'm good at binding spirits, I might be able to send out a watcher spirit or a seek spirit or something to try and locate her. If I knew what she looked like.
All right, yeah, I guess we can, try a con roll to convince her that we're interested in taking the job, and that we think it would be best if we started tracking them from where they escaped. Does that sound like a reasonable use for a roll? Anyone?
A very cunning plan. I like it.
Does sound appropriate.
It might work.
After all, that's how most tracking is done.
I mean, it might be explosion. My parents has. Maybe it will. Oh well.
Okay, so Mel, during the phone conversation, would be willing to go further with your proposal, but wants to make sure that you are serious about the job.
All right, so we'll negotiate for that.
Question: are you talking to her through a text communication
It would
or
be
voice
audio. It
communication?
would be an audio communication.
Okay, could Ojo would ask if he could listen in on this. I'd like to get a sense of her voice.
Miss Jojo would allow that.
Thank you so much, my beautiful lady.
I think you might have to roll composure if this wasn't a mini mission for something like that.
Oh yes, I don't. He would auto fail that composure.
No, not him, her.
Oh yes.
All right, Melanie Scarlett will, sorry, Redfield. Melanie Redfield will agree to sending her assistant to meet with you and ascertain your professional acumen, and then will bring you to the laboratory if the assistant feels you are agreeable.
All right. Any of you have any ideas how we can impress our skills upon this assistant?
Well, 2 of us are soldiers. Plenty of training there.
No, but if something goes wrong, I'm here.
Say, aren't you? I heard of you somewhere.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I was having a drink with my Red, and she said something about some clown.
So, is there a female form of the name Vincent? Think like Vincenza, something like
Yeah,
that.
I think I saw Vincenza once.
I don't have the foggiest.
Well, there's a city named Vincenza in Italy. Ah, yes. There's also Vincenza as a name. Okay, good. So the lab assistant's name is Vincenza Diesel.
But a
Any
lovely name.
relation to... Oh wait, no, probably doesn't have any relation to that Battle player because his name, well, his call name was Diesel.
And out of character, does anyone know an actress who would be the equivalent to Vin Diesel? So, tough looking, big, kind of, not necessarily has to be bald, but
Ronda Rousey.
Jason Statham.
I said actress. God damn it. Hunter, what was your suggestion?
Ronda Rousey, the MMA fighter.
Ronda Rousey? Yeah, that could work.
She's an MMA fighter. She's badass.
Yeah, this looks like someone I can use for this token. I just got to find one with the right expression on her face. But yeah, so that would be the person who comes to meet you.
A Ronda Rousey lookalike.
With the name Vincenza Diesel.
Is there a token somewhere?
Not yet. I'm trying to find a good photo for
Okay.
her. See, that one's got too much makeup on, but you know what? Fuck it.
So in the meantime, would anybody else like to make a roll here, since Bishojo's been making all the rolls?
Yes, Bishojo's
Well-
using up a lot of her rolls.
Well, as soon as the assistant lady comes, Ojo will try and seduce her. Or at least to charm her so much that, well, she might be pliable.
I'll be honest and say that Killjoy is more of a doer than, well, anything else.
He needs to be able to plan to do, though, so that's something you've got to start adjusting for.
Well, he does have, you know, things. But I just personally need to figure out. But I did give out an, suggestion how I can help. You know, if something goes wrong.
You are going to quickly find, Ojo, that she is not your type, and you are not hers.
That last one is more important. That she is not his. Ojo doesn't care what her type is. This is a way to manipulate people. It doesn't matter if she's likable or not. But yeah, apparently with Ojo not being her type, that would mean, yeah, the manipulation fails.
Well, I mean, you still make a an impression upon Vincenza. Ooh. Sally, on the other hand, will get a bit of a blush out of Vin. Is anyone going to try to impress her in other ways to try and encourage her to bring you to the lab?
I suppose Hauser could pull out a couple of bullets, saying, "These are stick and shock. This don't bring him down. I don't know what will."
You have to make a roll. It's the mini mission for progression to happen. There has to be rolls.
VT, how many good skills would I have? How many pretty good skills would I have? And how many mediocre and poor skills would this character have?
I'd say you've got one speciality, 5 good, 10 pretty good, and let's say 1, 4. Yeah, let's do this. 1 of those. 4 of those, 7 of those, 13 of those. Yeah, something like that. And I'm going to be trusting you to keep track of these sort of things.
Of course, of course. Hence why I asked, because yeah, else I would just go, well, I have all these good skills, and maybe be unfair, but okay.
I could try to con her to believe that we have experience on taking down. Or, well, yeah,
Maybe Hauser
taking
could
down
show-
and capturing some monsters. It's a Half-Life, but still bordering on lie.
Maybe Hauser could show off his marksmanship skills.
Yeah. So, however, well, this is Lambeth area, right?
That is
Lambeth,
correct.
and you have a
Okay.
suppressed weapon.
So taking a full aim.
Don't put modifiers like that in.
Just straight.
Just the skill roll, yes.
Do I get the smart link bonus from it then?
Yeah, Smart Link will be acceptable. Anyone else want to do anything to impress?
Well, yeah, I think Oja will basically try to negotiate, or not basic. But what skill does I have? Let me just see.
Negotiate, persuade. Wait, is it persuasion? I don't remember. It's been so long.
Oh yeah, negotiate is a skill. Yeah, basically, yeah. Oja would just negotiate, try to impress how good they are for this stuff, and yeah.
Sally seems to be making a bit of an impression with some fighting skill. Not so much. The blushing doesn't happen, but more of a professional interest in Sally's talent. Yeah, I say overall at this point, Vincenza is willing to relay to Melanie Redfield what she's seen here, and we'll get an answer for you shortly. In the meantime, if any of you have questions, Vincenza will try to answer them when she comes back. So think on the questions.
When she leaves, Ojo would basically. I think you can summon Watcher Spirit or something pretty quickly.
Yes, but you'll have to make a roll.
Yeah, I'll make a roll for that, and then yeah, okay. What do I roll? Is that the
It's,
binding skill?
No, summoning is summoning. Binding is binding.
Okay,
Actually,
that'll be
before
my.
she... No, go ahead.
All right, that'll be my third good skill, or good skill then.
Frosty, you had a question?
Yes. Before she leaves, as we're, persuading her, can I do a perception roll to basically try and assess how tough she is?
Yes. So
Like general.
judge
Nothing.
judge intention would be used to determine her socially. Perception is used to determine physically.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking. Physically, how capable she looks.
So yeah, do I succeed in summoning
So yeah,
something?
as Watcher Spirit, you just need one hit.
Okay, well, yeah. All right, then the Watcher Spirit and Oja will instruct the Watcher Spirit to follow this assistant. Yeah, for as long as he has the services of this thing. I'm not quite sure how it works.
Up to 4 hours because you got 4 hits.
Yeah, okay, well then, yeah. Follow it for 4 hours, then, yeah. Basically, to tell me, I don't know if it's linked to my mind or something, but...
That is
otherwise-
correct, yes.
Okay, yeah, alright, then just follow it for 4 hours and, well, they'll see if they go where he hopes them to go.
Active perception was +4. If I remember correctly.
It is, but in this instance, those kind of modifiers don't exist.
Okay. Fair enough. But we do get our gear bonus.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, we've more than one in now and a lead maybe towards the right place. Maybe we could even, follow behind in a car and try to follow this assistant to where she might be going. Might that be an idea? I kind of like to get the drop on this Melanie lady when she's not expecting us.
So Killjoy, she looks very tough, and she has a scar over her left eye that seems to have caused the eye to develop a cataract. The scar goes from her forehead down her cheek.
Well, ain't she a cheeky little thing? It's a shame Bobo isn't here. Definitely having a groan.
So yes, what is the next step? Should we try and follow the assistant as she leaves, or just leave it to the spirit, or just wait till they're back and come and get us?
Well, what sort of skills do we have? Does anybody have a decent shadowing skill?
No. Okay.
I don't think it would be one
Great.
of Ojo's skills, no.
And really, Killjoy doesn't have the skill to shadow his targets before he starts painting?
He does. It's just not great. He's more of an infiltrator. You know, lay in wait. You know, like Jack in a box.
I fear that is more something that's, yeah, I rely my magic and spirits to do. I am so sorry about that.
Sure, go for it, Sally.
Don't get too attached. Just a friendly reminder.
Go and enjoy the passions of the lady on lady love. What a delightful pearl. What a delightful woman.
Okay, sorry for being somewhat distracted, but now we have a Vincenza Diesel token.
There.
Okay, so Sally, you're trying to shadow. Okay. Well, she basically just walks down the street, gets on her comm link, and calls Melanie Redfield. And has a conversation, which, because you're shadowing her, you can eavesdrop on. And Vincenza basically explains that this is a group of combat hardened individuals, by the looks of it. They appear to be adequate with the skills necessary to meet the task. However, there is certain factors which make Vincenza feel uncomfortable with the group. They are obviously, I mean, Killjoy's wearing his mask, right, Frosty?
Of course.
Yeah.
There's no Killjoy if there's no mask.
Right. So Vincenza basically explains that she gets a bad vibe from the group, and there is the potential for them to be threatening and hazardous to the overall survival of Mel. The conversation seems to, however, go poorly for Vincenza, and she looks quite upset and gets more and more upset and exasperated, and basically just says, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I understand. Yes, ma'am." I will do as you ask.
All right. So she comes back.
Well, I'm just waiting to see what Kara's typing. So Sally would try to catch her on the way back if she comes back towards the group as if she was just outside having a fag and go, "Oi, hope you're not a downer. You're looking a bit fussed. Everything all right?" I suppose that would be a
Golden Eye.
con attempt
Ojo Dorado.
since Sally's trying to play it cool. Well, Christ almighty, Sally.
That's not just cool, that's Antarctic.
Wow. Vincenza will look kind of stunned for a moment and kind of lean in and say, I'm sorry, I don't smoke, but thank you. But this is rather difficult for me, but I would like to request that you ensure your friends do no harm to Melanie. So he says, "Oh, I thought that job was kind of a containment thing, not a faff about the lass, You can tell that Vincenza has a very difficult time comprehending what you're saying, Sally, and will iterate that if anything were to happen to Melanie Redfield, those responsible would not do so well with survival. That isn't meant as a threat, it is merely a fact of the situation." Frosty, what's that?
Oh, it didn't. I tried to make an arrow to just point the face. Just because, what she said. Out of character.
Sally says, yeah, she wouldn't be hiring a gang to, like, muck her up, right? She seems to have a bit of a solid head on her shoulders, aye? Well, shall we have a gab at the other lot? Just one more thing. Sally says, course. And Vincenza says, Miss Redfield is a very dangerous individual. And I get the impression that your team is perhaps never mind. And she'll move ahead to the rest of the group. I'll just see if Kara has anything else to say before that. So he says, oh, I don't think she wasn't. I like to think I'm a danger myself, eh? Of course, in a good way, like my mom said. Endearing, right? Vincenza just heads back into whatever location it was that you were having this meeting. Also, out of character, I hope you all like the scar that I gave her.
Indubitably.
Yep, look good.
Better than I can do.
So Vincenza will explain to all of you that Melanie Redfield has agreed to have Vincenza Diesel lead you to the access point of the laboratory, which the creatures escaped from, so that you may use that as a means to track down their current whereabouts.
All right.
Ah, back so soon, my dear lady. Welcome back. It's good to see you again.
Now you're sounding
but good.
Romanian.
We'll get to the right spot eventually. That target marker just keeps going over Europe. Eventually it'll get to the right spot.
Sally says, right, and we ain't to be giving either lass a headache. I don't want to be doing a number and causing a faff. Right. So Vincenza will lead you. Well, actually, she'll give you one more warning. You may all want to acquire and equip gas masks for where it is that we are heading.
All right. Well, I don't suppose that will pose any problem for our characters, will it?
Well, your character has a gas mask. Don't think any of the rest of them do. Oh, Hauser might.
Let's see. Probably not.
Yes, and I don't think. Well, Killjoy would be very funny wearing a gas mask over his mask, because I don't imagine he'd put it on underneath.
Eh. It would be on top of the mask.
Yeah, but gas masks are availability rating 0, so we can simply go purchase some.
Just declare whether or not your character will purchase a gas mask, and we can put it on their bill.
My character will purchase a gas mask.
I will be so dastardly and inquire why. Do I need to do a roll or?
No, this will be free information because we're heading to a sewer access point.
Knee deep in shite. Okay.
It's a sad thing Oyo Dorado isn't a toxic mage right now. Oh well.
If you were, I think everybody would be, on you, trying to make you, stop moving.
But yes, Vincenza would lead you to a sewer access point that is along the northern coast of the River Thames in the Lambeth territory. And it's actually going to be pretty close to where that... you all remember the magnetic golem mission?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty close to that site. So... Bashojo, I think you're, and yeah, Bashojo and Hauser, you were both there for that. So this will look relatively familiar to the two of you.
And I were just a gleam in the eye.
Welcome back, Hauser. So you're going to the sewer, Hauser.
Okay.
Vincenza will say that she is not an expert tracker, but to the best of her knowledge, if any of you have a means of tracking the escaped creatures from here, this is the point that they surfaced.
What kind of creatures are we talking about?
That's actually been actually that information will require a news roll. If you don't have news, you can do a what's the word? Common sense at -2. Oh, Bobob's here.
Yay.
Who wants to make the roll?
Common sense.
In
Yeah, I don't think I
-2,
should do
unless
it.
you have news.
Which roll? Common sense roll?
A common sense at -2 or news if you happen to have that knowledge skill.
That would be a common
User
sense
in
of
your
4,
channel
so
is
that's
recording.
not me.
I would have 8 after the penalty. Oh, I'm going to roll it then. Oh well.
If anyone else wants to roll as well, the hits add up.
Okay. Oh well.
Okay, I'll roll for it. I'll make it a... Let me see. I'll make it a pretty good skill. I think he likes to be informed.
Okay, so between the two of you, you will be aware that the... Let's see here. Where is my... The creatures appear to be monkeys that have been very seriously modified. And they are violent towards humans and metahumans. They don't seem to have any inclination towards harming other creatures, but they are organized and seem to know how to create distractions so that if someone comes after them, a small group will distract so the rest of them can escape. And they are essentially the size of regular Reamer monk. What's the popular monk? Rhesus monkey?
Yes, I believe so. Rhesus monkey.
But look more like miniature orangutans crossed with chimpanzees. Sadly, Kara's AFK Frosty. God, I almost called you Twister. So that wonderful little jab will have to wait.
Can I take like a minute or two break?
Yeah, actually, this is a perfect time for a break. So I'm going to stop the recording, and hopefully all of you will be able to come up with wonderful ideas to use up the rest of your rolls.
User in your channel stopped recording.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I think House is personally going to give 4 of his roles to Bishojo. But like the one with the better talking skills. So.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do something with spirits and such, and maybe some combat magic. But I'm not sure how spirits work. So, like, I know Osho would be good at them, but
So
me
we're
not
trying to
Ojo.
get to Miss Monroe, Miss Redfield, but we had to convince Miss Vincenza Diesel to recommend us to her. And Vincenza Diesel is also Melanie Redfield's assistant.
Okay, I can VoIP, but I just can't like VoIP in character due to be at my parents' house and my aunt's also here to help out dad's condition. I can help with spirits. What questions do you have?
How do I summon and bind them? Do I do that for a few times or something? I don't know.
Do you want to keep the spirit, or do you just want to have the spirit there for a short period of time?
I think for now, for a short period of time, I guess.
That's just a summoning roll then, that's not a binding roll.
Okay, so yeah, I guess, and binding would take a longer while.
No, binding means that you know like how Okami has her wolves, or how Pirate has her spirits, and she always seems to have these just hanging around. That's what binding is.
And
For
yes,
services, for summoning, they stay from sunrise to sunset, or from sunset to sunrise. If you just summon them.
but they'll still stick around if you still have services up until those time frames. Well, binding lets you keep them beyond that.
Okay. Might
Yeah, like,
maybe discuss
Pirate.
then kind of if Ojo would have maybe bound some spirits a bit before the mission.
Yeah, 'cause-
That costs build points if you do that.
Yeah, but the thing
Or
is,
after
this
the
character
fact.
is not at all built. He just has a few skills, as it were.
Okay, but yeah, if you just want to have them for like the sunrise, the sunset, and etc. time frame, all that is that you have to declare how strong of a spirit you're summoning. Then you roll your summoning roll and then the spirit rolls against that to see if it resists the summoning and your control, because spirits don't normally like this. And
Might
you
be
just
better to
resist
take
the drain.
summoning as a specialty skill then, rather than binding.
Yeah, no, binding is if you want to keep summoning, you still have to do no matter what to call forth the spirits.
I'll ask
Banishing
VT
is
when he's
ba-
back then to
yeah,
maybe
it
if we can
is,
change that.
Yeah, it is summoning if you want to call forth spirits, binding if you want to keep spirits, banishing if you want to be good at getting rid of spirits. Because if you, we went over this earlier, when it comes to spirits, how you react to them and how you deal with them depends on your tradition. But generally, if you're combating spirits, outright attacking them is easier for low-level spirits, or for high-level spirits, it's easier to banish them. Because what banish does is remove services, and once any spirit gets to 0 services, it automatically goes back to the astral plane. Unless it's bound.
Okay.
Yeah, just go poof.
Yeah. The other good thing about banish, though, is that you remove services from a spirit, you could then try to gain control of that spirit yourself and try to gain some services on it. Which you would then roll, what do you roll after this?
Okay, so this mage will probably need summoning. Summoning as a pretty good skill or a very good skill. Banishing, binding.
If you want to be,
and
this is if you want to be.
I already have 2 social skills. Is very good. So.
Yeah, this is if you want to very good. If you want to be straight up a shaman kind of build, which is then a lot of your skills and techniques come from using spirits and having a lot of spirits hanging around. Is that if you don't want that, you can still use summoning and you just call spirits as you need them. Where with binding is you have these spirits on hand, so you don't have to deal with every time you're playing this character have to resist draining for summoning spirits every time. That's the handy part of having spirits bound to you, is that you take a lot of drain that you're trying to resist when you're summoning and binding them, but you don't have to deal with those drains until you're trying to get new services on the spirit.
Welcome back, Kara.
Oh, okay. What it is that you roll. After you banish a spirit, you can then roll your summoning to try to gain control of that spirit after you banished it. But it's still the same resist die, so it's to steal control of a high-powered spirit is still risky.
Okay, now we just need Desperado, a Bob, and Kara to do it. Leave it to a Bob to screw it up.
Blame Bobo. That's the rule.
Kara does it in text. How about you, Desperado? Any interesting gargling?
Gargle, gargle.
Cunning. Okay. So I hope everyone's given some thoughts to how they want to proceed for the next, let's say, hour and a half, hour 15, if at all possible. I'd like
have
to
an
be
idea.
able to get this mini mission through for the evening.
User
Okay,
in your
we
channel
are in
started
resuming
recording.
mode.
With as specialized as Hauser is, he's going to offer 4 of his roles.
You don't have to do that yet. If this gets dragged into combat, you might want to be able to fight.
I'd still have more than 10 roles.
We all do.
Yeah.
But speaking of combat, if we're at this exit with Miss Diesel here, we probably need to knock her out or kill her so that we can then progress back towards where Redfield is. So, anyone feel like shooting our Johnson in the back?
No, not yet. I figure we let her take us to her boss.
So we're going to actually capture one of these critters and bring it back? Is that the plan?
Oh, we have to capture a critter first.
Well, otherwise she's brought us back to basically the entrance to the sewers and said, well, they came from here.
Also, I think Sally missed my, well, not my, Killjoy's little quip.
So why don't you read that out loud?
So, is this a happy family reunion? And
Of course, I
Killjoy's
guess that
looking at Sally.
technically that should wait to happen when you find one of the monkeys. Saying it now doesn't really.
It works in my opinion. Because
But
just looking
well,
at
except-
monkeys.
But the
okay.
thing is, you don't know about them. Like, someone has to describe the monkeys to the group. I guess is what would prompt it.
Well,
I think
we
she
did
did.
ask her what this came, or rather, we heard from the new whatever.
Something about orangutans mixed
No.
with chimpanzees.
There are rhesus monkeys that look like orangutans crossed with chimpanzees.
Oh, I don't know what you're planning, but I'm thinking I'm just waiting her to skedaddle and then infiltrate.
Well, if it's fighting one of these things or fighting Vincenza, I vote on fighting Vincenza.
Bloodthirsty.
All right then.
This sort of
Nothing's stopping
opportunity.
you from capturing a monkey.
This is also the sort of thing which maybe is ideal for Hauser.
The knocking her out.
Well, knock her out, kill her. That's pretty much up to you. You have guns, use them.
You
So-
have the power.
Hauser's going to pull out his Beretta and shoot with stick and shock. He's going to shoot Vincenza twice, since it is semi-auto.
How many initiative passes do you have?
3?
So you'll get a +6 to this.
Okay, so did I roll both shots separately, of course?
That is correct.
There's 1. -2 for same action twice.
Yes. Oh, goddamn Hauser. What's the DV value on that weapon? Or no, wait, it's stick and
Stick and
shock,
shock.
right? Okay.
The 6 stun plus.
So it's a split second sort of situation between the two shots. The first shot impacts and you get a very angry and disappointed look from Vincenza, and she will make effort to move towards you, but the second shot puts her down. Sally is like, oi, what the fuck? And Frosty, since you can talk for yourself.
Well, I didn't see that one coming.
Really? You didn't
Isn't
see
that
us
the
shooting
point?
the person who we contacted under false premises in the back coming?
I kind of did. So when do we kill her?
I don't want to kill her.
It seems unwise to leave her alive. I mean, she did make the threat that it would be bad for her health, so I figure, well, if we don't deal with her, she will come after us.
Sally says, how the fuck is this broad gun led us and the other bird? Is she right hotter than a kettle now?
Didn't she
I
already?
have no idea what that meant.
I do believe she's talking about how the hell is she going to, or how the hell are we going to find the scientist now? Because we just know that they came from here. What direction? Probably.
Well,
like
Well,
we
obviously,
just know
if
that they came from here. We don't
well,
know.
obviously, if they came out from here, there can't be all that much distance, or they would have exited through another exit. So we will obviously need to go exploring in there, but you know, it's not like we're going to have to search the entirety of London's sewer systems.
You hope.
Or I could try to talk with her. Persuade.
Oh, she's already unconscious. This one.
Oh, well, we can get her up after we restrain her and take her communications up.
The second part of your plan there is an interesting one. Sally says, look, we got to find piece of map right the fuck here, pointing to the knocked out woman, till you gone shot her.
Well, how are you planning on convincing her to take us to her boss, who she's clearly protective of?
Oh, well, pull out a knife. I have a way.
Oh god damn it. I'm so tempted for the meme now.
After all, I do have a little bit of skill in torture.
Sally says, look, you muppet. Did I say I had a plan? Just that was stupid.
Ladies, gentlemen, I'm sure we are all trying our best. We will find the solution, do not worry.
Is the short stack talking to me? Because I did nothing. No, take offense.
If you
Calling
think
me a
you can
muppet.
loosen her tongue, take your best shot. I'm sure I can wake her up.
Are there any spells my character might know that could force or persuade or mind control a person?
Is that the kind of build he would have?
Possibly. That's the thing, we're not entirely sure yet. I'm leaning in between like being able to throw a fair bit of fireballs and that type of thing, or indeed the real mental type of mage. I don't know.
Well, like I said, we should anyways restrain her. You know, take
Yes,
her
I'm
comlink
sure.
off.
Yes, I'm sure we can handle that. So, you know, some zip ties, search her for weapons and comlinks, and take any that we find. Maybe use some extra zip ties. I'm sure she's augmented.
So if you want to, Ojo, you could go ahead and do a spellcasting roll. And we'll make sure that you have like Mind Probe or some equivalent spell. What were you looking to do exactly?
Basically just either indeed like force her to lead us to the lab, or indeed discern the location out of her mind, as it were.
So yeah, if you want to just mind probe her to try and get the location of the lab, that is an option. This, however, being spellcasting will mean using 2 rolls. One for the spellcasting and one for the drain.
Okie doke, I'll pre-etch the spellcasting.
The other thing to establish is what force do you want to do this spell at?
Okay, how does that work?
Well, we'll say that Ojo has an average magic of 5, so if you do 1 to 5, it's stun damage. If you do 6 to 10, it's physical damage. Force determines how powerful a spell is. How many of your hits actually count?
I think 5. I don't think I will get that much higher than that.
Ouch. Also, how many edge has that been so far?
That's my first. And yeah, then I roll for a drain, I guess. What would I roll
Indeed.
for that? So what would I roll for the drain resistance? That's not really a skill.
Have you used up your... Like, when I said skills, it means dice pools. Like, I just called them skills to shorten myself so I'm not writing out dice pool.
Okay,
So
well
how
then it
many-
would be alright. Then it would be yeah. I'll make that one of the 10 skill points thing then. Jesus Christ.
So you would be getting a bit of a headache from this.
Ugh, I hate doing it this way. But yeah, that's the attempt at the mind probe, I guess.
So you'll only get a little bit of information before Vincenza's unconscious mind repels you from just sheer force of will. But you do feel you have the information, but you've never been in these sewers before, so it's going to be a challenge for you to... You'll have to roll navigation, and I don't think navigation is one of Ojo's good skills to
No, I would imagine not.
bring the group through based on what information he probed from Vincenza's mind. If you tell the team to bring Vincenza with you, you could always probe her mind again to try and get better results, but that will, of course, result in the -2 modifier.
Well, Ojo would relate this to the group and say, yeah, he might have luck guiding on intuition since he kind of has the images in his head now, but, well, not like a map, as it were.
So, is that a yes? No? Maybe? Not a fucking clue?
A very, very, very big maybe. I could try again after this headache clears.
Or?
Or again, we could wake her up and give Killjoy a go. I mean, I can certainly get her, do enough first aid to get her to regain consciousness.
Perhaps, though. I think this lady will be as resistant to torture as she was resistant to my mental magics.
Well, we shall see if it comes to that. So far, I haven't gotten a clear answer. Do you know where we need to go or not? Maybe
You
it
got
doesn't cut it.
Maybe doesn't cut it. Sally says could call a pounce and check her comm link. She did make a call to the other bird.
If you feel like do that.
Not a bad idea. Anybody have a hacker on call?
No, literally, she's talking about the comm link that's in the pocket of Vincenza.
Yeah, but you still have to get into that comlink, I imagine.
I'm not stopping anyone trying that. I just know that I do it.
Problem is, I don't
Okay,
think
out
we
of
have any
characters, does
techies on
anybody
the
have
group.
any hackers on as a contact?
Yep.
No.
So basically, anybody feel like trying to tinker with her comlink on, without the assistance of a professional?
How's just putting his hands up? Nope. Nope.
So Sally is apparently picking it up. What
I am
do you
willing
think?
to go, but I'm hardly an expert.
What do you think Sally's skill will be with computers, Kara? Yeah, no, I'm not saying hacking. I'm saying skill with computers. So is this going to be one of her poor skills, or is this something she's mediocre at? So go ahead and roll 7SR4, and I don't know how much edge you have left at this point. Okay, so you'll find that there is a what appears to be a 4-digit PIN to get into the phone. So you'd have to get a hacker to do it for you to break into it, or you could just try your luck and you'd roll edge as one of your rolls to see if you just happen to guess the right 4-digit code. She says, eh, fuck, has a lock. One, two, three, four is not the correct passcode.
I could try and my probe that code out of it.
Sally says figures she wouldn't use the same as here, and she tosses it to the groupies, as she calls them. Who's taking the cell phone comlink next?
Well, be sure to, Sally just did better than Hauser would even with Edge.
Oh wait. Because I'm an idiot, I forgot that Mashojo has basically a computer hacker inside her comlink.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering why you weren't exploiting that.
Yep, finally. I mean, it's like a stupidifyingly large amount of cash that that's represented in that program. All right. Agent rating 5, hacking software suite rating 3.
And what about the response of the device?
It's the Battle Buddy basic, so response is 5.
All right, so your dice pool would be 13 in that case. Killjoy's duplicated. Well, damn, that was a good roll. So yeah, Bishojo, you'll basically tell your battle buddy, I think it has personality software in the agent.
Yes, I believe it does as well. Yes, personality software.
So what kind of personality does your agent have?
Probably a drill sergeant or something like that.
So it's the drill sergeant?
Yep.
Okay.
The one person who won't impressed by how pretty she is.
Well, it's going to tell you you're a dumb maggot for not being able to do this yourself, and it's going to, like, bling! Here you go. It's unlocked.
All right, so it's unlocked. What do we do now? I'm guessing we can't just call her and ask us to let us in. I could try running a trace on it with the same program.
If you wish, I think if I go on the call, I can keep the Lady Melanie talking for a while you run this trace. I mean, do you need time for such things?
Sally says, look, I think she has a thing for the small bird, so maybe like hostage?
That'd probably work.
I suppose that's enough for Killjoy not to mutilate the hostage? Frosty? Frosty?
Frosty's microphone is disabled, not just muted.
Frosty, you're going to have to re-enable your microphone, you silly goose. Who knows how long that's been the case. But, yeah, so the rest of you, well, Killjoy's apparently, hopefully not mutilating your hostage. What are you doing?
Well, as I said, I'm willing to make the call. I think I am good at talking
User
with women.
disconnected from your channel.
If I'm just so if I need to toot my own horn, well, if I could toot my own horn, I wouldn't need the women, would I? Yes. That was a little joke.
Bishojo hands the phone to Sally and says, "You call, and I'll get my comlink to see if it can run a trace
User
on
in
it."
your channel is recording.
Ojo looks hurt.
Okay. And remember,
I'm
this
back.
is... Oh, there you are. Welcome back, Frosty.
Yeah, I
So-
was saying that the urge is there, but I'm
4 hits is enough for him to repress it, correct?
yeah,
Okay.
like not yet.
And at Ojo's little joke, Hauser doesn't even bother with a composure roll. He just face palms.
Right. So just a reminder, though, this is supposed to be a mini mission, so less on the role play, more on the specific actions and activities. So Sally says, this was a shite at Coppin would I speak, but it's a queen zone, so you being a loon, but fine. And she's going to be making a threatening call using her last edge. So, Bishojo, I imagine you want to do a trace at the same time that Sally's doing her threatening.
Yep, and it should be the same dice pool, so... and I can reroll that with edge if it turns out to be needed.
Well, Sally has got 7 hits on her threatening phone call with the "We got your birdie." So, Shoujo, remember the number of hits. We're going for a total tally at the end. So the more hits you get on your good rolls, the better position you'll be in overall. Just something to keep aware of. But also remember the appropriateness of a skill you use in a given situation also applies.
Well,
but
actually,
yeah,
come to think of it, it's the agent is doing it, so I can't spend edge on it if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
you're correct. You're very correct. Excellent point. So yeah, you can't edge that one anyway. But yeah, so Sally, you get into a conversation with Melanie, who basically iterates that Vincenza is a favored toy, and if it's really necessary, Melanie can just make a new one, and that would basically just be a pain in her ass. And what is Sally like? You're basically holding Vincenza as a hostage. What are your demands? And Kara, I know you like to roleplay, but just for time constraints, what is Sally going to basically be attempting to demand? And as Kara's typing that, I'll just read. Sally says, "We fancy a trade. You got neat stuff. We got a neat bird who could use more scars. You scratch our back, we scratch yours, right? We want to be paid for her last, like some of the cool tech she promised with her job offer for her assistant back." Do any of you object to what Sally is saying into the comm link, or are you just going to let things ride?
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, rather it would be a case where we won't scratch her back, as it were, but everything else is fine.
Why not?
So Sally's trying to make a meeting in person. Okay. Melanie will stress that she expected you to be bringing home the genetically engineered monkey freaks. And if you're trying to take a shortcut on the job by threatening Vincenza, that's pretty unprofessional and of great disappointment to Melanie. However, she would appreciate having her favorite plaything returned to her. So, sure. She'll go ahead and she'll send a little information to the tracer signal that you're trying to use on her and just go ahead and give you the correct whereabouts through that. So, Bishojo, your agent will all of a sudden say, "I've got an exact location." But, like, Sally would be able to tell you that's because Melanie allowed it to.
Yeah. Oh, what the hell? This isn't the dumbest thing I've ever done.
I can't
boy,
say I like
we're
the
going
idea.
into a trap.
Yeah, I do not like walking into traps.
What if I go first?
And Sally says, "Well, we could get the monkeys too. Point is, we're getting paid for all of this, right?"
Oh, that wasn't
Well,
the...
Melanie will say, like, if you go ahead and get my monkeys, yeah, that would be very professional and very courteous of you. But, you know, I would prefer to have Vincenza back, and you want to come down here and trade for her. Fine, we'll trade for her, but bring me my monkeys, and all will be forgiven. Sally says, well, fuck, why don't you say so? Geez, you're a pair of fucking monkeys yourself. Fine, we deal. Deal, got it. Out of character, I honestly don't really know what's going on with Sally. So, what's the group's verdict here? Are we just going to go down straight to Mel, or are we going to try and get those monkeys first?
I say we go straight to Mel.
Yeah, we weren't going after the monkeys. We could have taken the job once at that.
So we have 2 votes for straight to Mel. The other 3 of you?
I would vote going for Mel, but maybe not going as she directs, as it were. Maybe try to find their own unexpected route of attack or such.
Sally says, yeah, but I don't want these fucks monkeying up my Lameth, aye? Spare a moment to do the right thing, aye? Then get paid for it? Then get paid for, like, everything, aye? Called cleaning up the streets, you ninnies?
And what do you
Wanted to that,
think?
we would have to, you know.
Yeah, and also, what do you think she's going to do with them after that? I mean, you know, if we chase her away, she's not going to be there to keep them in their cages, which obviously didn't work the first time.
Plus, more than likely, since we're stopping her from doing her work, it's also highly unlikely that she's going to be here to feed them or take care of them. So they're better off in the streets anyway.
Sally says, yeah, we kill all the monkeys, queen monkey and all.
That's just a waste of ammunition.
We'll go.
That's why I have knives. They don't use ammunition.
Look,
So-
as the character, as the player, I vote we just go straight to her.
No, same here. Ojo would not care that the monkeys are rampaging about.
So, Sally, you're going to have to clean up the monkeys after the fact. And I'll just give somebody this opportunity to say this to Sally. Maybe there's some anti-monkey spray in the lab that'll make getting rid of the monkeys easy.
Yeah, she might even
Maybe
have
there's-
little bombs in their heads.
Maybe there's some bat monkey repellent.
No, the bat monkeys are a different species.
No, I was making a joke.
I know, and I was countering your joke with another.
Anyway, as for a plan, Killjoy seems like the sneaky type, correct?
Yeah, I don't do as well at following people, but I can infiltrate.
So what we'll do is the other 4 of us will approach, since she was told that there was a group of us, but not what size group. And you will be our surprise attacker.
Sally is aware that Vincenza did mention the creepy face in a phone call with, assumably, Melanie Redfield.
I could perhaps get some spirits to move in there and get an unexpected drop on her. I mean, she is a scientist, and they generally in this little bit primitive land, they are not usually prepared for magical attacks.
Just don't make this more difficult than it is. Just send me the map, and I'll go first to see.
There is one other thing that Melanie would have said before hanging up on Sally is be mindful of the ghouls and the Zunu Kwa.
What?
The Zunu Kwa. They are basically trolls that have been infected with the human metahuman vampire virus that causes their bone deposits to never stop growing.
Oh, so bone golems. Great.
Yeah, bone golems. That's an excellent way to put it.
No, I think it's fairly advantageous if I go first to take a, first look.
All right, so let's focus on getting there first. And we tell the
Yes, we
route
have
we
the
will need to take
location.
underground now that we have the location.
So basically, you'll get a navigation with +8. Who wants to roll that?
Navigation.
Mine's quite poor.
I can do that. +8.
Do you have more than 4?
I have 4. +8 is 12.
Yeah, same. So, if you feel like
Allow
it,
moi.
or we can pull up 2 rolls.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay, I'll use roll.
No, but Shoujo definitely seems to be better at navigation.
I'm trying to find out where roll that is for me.
So a bunch of people are doing navigation, it seems.
Well, I didn't know everybody was doing it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had an understanding that me and
I
Jojo
said
were-
allow me.
Oh, I didn't hear.
Did I not have the switch in the right position? Sorry.
All right, Frosty, I'll allow your navigation to be the one that's canceled.
Alright then.
So you'll get to roll your number 6 die again.
So basically, I'm just going like, oh, what if we go? And everybody's like, no. Okay.
Could I roll mine as well with 4 hit?
No. I think we have enough.
Okay.
Everybody's like, I have 4, and I look at Bishoja. She starts at 8.
So with the 10 hits from Bashojo, plus the additional 5 from Sally, you will be able to find your way through the sewers, avoiding ghouls and Zunukwa, and eventually making it to a very, very heavy-looking fortified door that there are some cameras set up along the exterior wall, and the door, you see no way to open it from the outside.
And me without my demolitions.
But Kilroy, didn't you want to do an infiltration?
Yeah. I shall do that. I had it somewhere. There. Does this count as urban?
Oh, that's I'll say you'll get a +1 rather than a +2.
Okay. going to edge that. Okay, that's better.
Okay, 7 hits. When you reach the door, do any of you do anything in particular?
Yes, I don't know how long.
Actually, sorry, I forgot to ask. Who is carrying Vincenza?
Most likely, it's either me or Bishojo.
So
No, I think Sally would be the best at 8. She's probably beefy.
she's also tiny, and Vincenza's huge. So, Hauser, would you mind helping Sally carry?
Yeah, with me with my body of 5, strength of 8.
So, go ahead and roll a lift carry, and Kara, a lift carry from you as well. You can decide how good Sally is at lift carry based on your limited good pool of dice.
And that's what? Lift carry is what? Roll?
It's on the right-hand side.
$13.
Okay, you will be able to successfully carry Vincenza. She is heavy. Like, she's big. She's also dense.
That's not a nice thing to call her.
It would be
maybe hardened bones.
Oh, at least. It would be easy to assume that she's packing a lot of synthetic cyberware. I mean, her exterior, she looks, other than that scar on her face, she looks pretty perfect. But she is heavy.
Oh, how's this gonna relay this? Well, if she wakes up before we have this done, she might be a problem.
And Sally says, "Aye, your problem, mate."
So, let's see here. So as we come up to the door,
Well, because you laughed at it, I guess I have to say it. Sally says, "You shot her. I made eyes at her. Who's the real villain?"
You for making eyes at her.
Yes,
knew we were
who
gonna
is the
stab her in
real
the
villain?
back
That's always a
anyways.
question.
anyway, as we come up and we see some of the cameras, we'll probably knock out several of them. You know, maybe leave one functioning so she can see that we're here and we want the door open.
You're going to attack the cameras, you say?
Sure. Need me to roll a skill for that?
Yes, absolutely. You can shoot them. Or punch them if you'd prefer.
I have a very nice vibro knife, so I'll use that.
I have one too. But I'm hiding. Sneaky, sneaky.
So, question: how long does summoning a spirit usually go last? How long does that cost me?
Till dawn or dusk, whichever comes first.
No, I mean the action of summoning a spirit. How long does that take? Is that a whole long ritual, or is that a quick?
Oh, no. Summoning is instant. It takes 5 seconds. Binding.
It is a complex action.
Binding a spirit takes hours.
Okay, I really should have made summoning my good skill then rather than binding. Or my specialty skill, I mean. Oh well.
That was rather unfortunate, Shoujo.
And it's the edge reroll that I'm about to use, which I think
Okay.
is 3. Doubled it.
Okay, so you're taking out a couple of the cameras when Vincenza's comlink starts to ring.
Bishojo will pick it up.
That's assuming Sally lets her, considering Sally had it last.
Well, this is also true.
Well, Sally's also helping carry Vincenza.
Yeah, so she could drop Vincenza to answer the comlink. We're about to find out what Kara's typing. All right, so Bishojo, you were being asked to answer it. When you answer it, it'll be Melanie saying, "Do you mind? Those cameras cost several hundred new yen, I'll have you know."
Send me the bill later. You gonna open this door for us or not?
Just a moment. Raz, you hear her complaining in the background, and then you hear a beeping sound over the comlink, and the door creaks and opens. And there is something horrifying on the other side. So you all get a free composure roll. This does not count towards your total rolling pool.
Yes, House's composure is that low.
Fucking Bishojo, though, eh? All right, so Sally, Killjoy, and Dorado, you're all going to be unsettled by this thing, and so you will be at a -1 on the next action you take. Hauser, you are basically afraid of this thing. You will be at a -1 to all of your rolls until it's dealt with. Bishojo, being that you do not fear death, this thing is, well, it's creepy, but you're not going to be afraid of it.
Yeah, and that's not counting my adrenal regulator or NPC bridge if those help.
Oh yes, those will.
I also have those as well.
Oh, do you, Hauser? Okay,
Yes.
so I do believe that means you actually would have got a bonus roll on that. What's the page number for each of those? Are they
War
both in
164 for
both of them? Okay. So I believe one of them reduces the threshold, and the other one, I think, where is it? No, the NPC bridge helps you resist it. Well, it's intimidation. So go ahead and give yourself a +1. So roll a 1 more SR4 there, Hauser. Okay,
That's
so
enough.
no bonus there. However, the adrenal regulator reduces the threshold by 2, which means you will not be at the penalty after all.
Okay.
So the two military individuals are able, thanks to their implants, to resist the fearful nature of this thing. It is essentially an oversized human head that is basically got rows of sharp teeth like a shark. And it seems to be hovering at the entryway to the lab.
Okay, I shoot it.
Behold, a beholder.
As does Hauser.
Sort of, except it's only got 2 eyes, but the 2 eyes have no pupils.
Well, it depends how you look at the beholder. It has one big eye, and then eye stalks.
Yes, this one does not have eye stalks.
Yeah. This might have more eyes than beholder. If it has 2.
Anyone else attacking this thing?
No, I'm going to use this opportunity to try and hide in the room.
If I can, sure.
Well, you said you had fireball spells, right?
Yeah, I would assume some kind of offensive spell, yes. So I would cast that then. Do I need to declare force for that? Yes, probably.
Always, always, always.
Okay, well,
What
I'll
would it
go
mean
force
to me
5 again.
to
Actually, I'm
try
gonna
and
go
hide
force
in the
4.
room? See?
Yes?
Would it be infiltration for me to hide in the room as they are making a ruckus?
Yes, you would have to use infiltration.
Okay. And it's -1 because of the
Scariness factor, yes.
Wow, the clown is afraid.
No, unsettled. I
It's
think
just
I
such an
need to invest
ugly
on
art
uncles.
piece. It offends his senses.
Oh, come on.
How much edge do you have left?
2, so I'm going to use 1. Almost made a mistake. Better.
Hojo's not doing so hot.
I never do hot. I think I might become the new Twister.
It's a contagious curse.
Now, Bashojo and Hauser, both of you, I believe, could make 2 attacks with your weapons because of the nature of your attacks, correct?
Yes.
Oh yeah, and come to think of it, wait a minute here. I have extra initiative passes, so
Oh, yes, yeah, of course. Your initiative passes also factor in here. So, Killjoy. Oh, wait, no, Killjoy, you're not fighting. Sally, you're
Besides,
not.
I have only 1 pass.
Okay, and Sally, you're not fighting?
This is my Yeah.
Correct. But how many initiative passes do you think Sally would have? +1, +2, the really expensive +3. So then with 2 in total, it would be a +2 to your combat roll.
So this will be also my 7th roll.
So if I have 3 initiative passes, that would be 3 more dice? Or 2?
It is 2 per initiative pass.
So it would be +6?
If you've got +3 initiative passes,
So I've got 3 total, so...
oh no, so for each additional initiative pass.
So 4.
Yeah.
Here, let me fix that then.
Oh yeah, then I should be 2 lower because I have a total of 3 initiative passes as well. So take the last 2 hits off of mine. Last 2 dice, which would be 6 hits.
So,
Well,
quick question. Is there not a way to just get the image in image Google search anymore, or does it always send you to the source of the image?
You can say open image in new tab if you right click the image.
That depends on the browser.
I use Google Chrome.
but yes, apparently there is some way of doing it.
Okay. So basically, that thing is what the entity in front of you looks like if you just have the head and the head alone floating there.
Eek.
All right.
So just to give you a little context on why your characters are unsettled by what they see.
Oh, hey, it's the Murloc's big brother.
All right, so we unload onto it.
That you do, that you do. So I'm just trying to get a grand total here. So Bishojo, it was 9 from your initial roll, if I'm correct.
Let's see here. 4 plus 5, 9, and then the correct, because I didn't add the bonus for the initiative passes, would add 3 more, so 12 for the first roll.
Okay, and why is your second roll so much smaller?
Because I didn't do an edge reroll on that, and also -2 for it being the second use of that skill.
Okay. So 12 total from your first, you said?
No, wait a minute here. Did I screw that up? No, okay, yeah. Okay, so 15 -2, 13 plus 4. So that should be 17.
17 from your first roll alone?
No, for the second roll, it should be 17 dice. Because of that +4.
Okay.
So... So that would have been another 5 SR4. There we go. That makes more sense. All right. Yeah. Brain not work real good when you work 12-hour days.
How is the new job treating you, by the way?
Rough sometimes, but it pays well and it's not the worst. Just the time when I left the house at like 8:30 and didn't get back until 11 p.m. was kind of rough.
Yeah, I know those days.
As long as you get paid, that's kinda okay. Totally, but kinda.
So I'm gonna say with that many hits, the thing will eventually go down, but this combat might result in the need for punishment if the if at the end of this whole thing, if I beat you, you can basically buy more points by taking negative repercussions onto your characters. So this combat would basically be where that happens. So if I win in the competition between your grand total and my grand total, then based on who wants to get bitten by the shark head and possibly lose a limb or something, you could end up buying more hits that way. But that will come at the end of this entire encounter.
Probably will be Ojo, as he's not been contributing at all to this mission.
But Bishojo's the kind who has a death wish, so...
Well, hopefully it won't come to that, and hopefully we're getting close to the end here, because Bishojo's now at roll 10 out of
Well,
15?
we end as soon as you're out of rolls. You don't get leftover rolls. Once you've used up all your rolls, that's the end of the mission. And
Oh, no. Well, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully we're getting close, because I know Bishojo is running almost out.
But no, that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
as soon as you used up your rolls, that's the end.
Okay.
Regardless of where we are in the story. The story in the mini missions is in service to the gameplay, whereas in the full missions, the gameplay is in service to the mission, the story.
Okay.
As they are blasting at the shark head, I'm going to take a look around with my perception to see,
All right.
know,
Go ahead.
get the-
Give it.
lay of the land, as it were. Check. Yep. Oh, I
So-
really like trees tonight.
Are you going to edge that or keep it as is?
I keep it as is because there's still a few rolls I
Actually-
can make, so.
All right, so it's a pretty dingy environment. Lots of concrete, lots of steel, tubes, wires, poor lighting, horrible smell. Like, you thought the sewer smelled bad, the lab smells worse. And you could just basically see enough through the gloom and the haze that there are like eyes looking at you from inside of glass chambers full of fluid in all sorts of different sizes and configurations. So while the rest of your friends are busy fighting the giant floating shark man head, what are you doing, Killjoy?
I'm looking at, looking for the main course, as it were.
So you're attempting to find someone?
Yeah.
So, do you want to make another perception roll at -2 from the previous one, or do you want to use some other method to try and track someone down inside a convoluted maze of pipes, tubes, and genetically engineered monster freaks?
Well, I was going to say I would try to listen, but wait, do I have? It all depends. I have the sound filter. Yes, I have a rating 3 sound filter, so I can probably try and listen.
Okay, so go ahead and do another perception roll at -2. However, make note that rating 3 select sound filter.
Yeah. Instead of looking, I'm listening.
You hear maniacal laughter coming down one of the corridors. However, it is echoing and reverberating off the walls and the metal. So you can attempt to track it down.
Track it as in tracking skill or something else.
Tracking skill.
Yeah, why not? I'm not good at it, but oh well.
Do you have any edge left?
1. And I think I will use it.
I shall attempt to assist you in this endeavor.
How? You're busy fighting the giant shark face thing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm waiting until that's dead before I proceed with further actions.
10.
So my tracking is 4, my luck is 3, so 7 SR4. Correct?
With an E at the end.
Yeah, I said E.
Sorry, the audio cut out. Nice, 4 hits. All right, so Killjoy, you're basically going to make it to an elevated platform after you come through another room. And as you're walking through the corridors, you're seeing all sorts of different lab equipment in various states of activity. And there's like organic tissue and mechanical components in piles. There's operating tables with things strapped down to them, things that squirm and scream and chitter. But as you come to this raised dais of metallic flooring, where it's sort of a central hub with a bunch of computers all sort of situated in a grand circular positioning. And you will see, I guess, I forgot to, did you see her face earlier, Frosty?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so see if I can make a token for her as well. She is under this one? Yep, okay. And we'll give her this color border. Yeah, that works. And we'll go bloop and bloop. Now, the token image is a lot more naked than she is supposed to look. But just got to get that nice, crazy looking smile. There we go. And her name is Melanie Redfield.png. Save. And boop, boop. And we will see that she is not a dwarf, but a very tiny person. Like, she is about Sally size.
So this is a family reunion. Also, I'm going to send the others instructions how to find here.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a computer edit skill.
Okie doke. That will be horrible. Computer plus edit.
That is correct, yes. Your
Okay,
computer
okay.
skill plus the edit rating software.
Oh. All right.
Very nice. So yeah, so the rest of you, once you will defeat the giant shark head, will be able to receive little guiding maps. But yes, Killjoy, who you assume to be Melanie Redfield, laughing maniacally as she basically uses AR gloves to interact with all of her computer terminals that are just sort of displayed around her, illuminating her with this kind of glowing white light.
Are you also sending an image of Melanie?
I don't think I have a.
Nope, doesn't look like Killjoy did that.
Damn.
Yeah, I didn't say that, and I don't think I have a camera in.
I need an image of her.
Well,
No,
at this point, you know where she's located, so.
All right,
yeah, I
maybe
do have
that's
a
enough
camera,
for the
it seems,
spirits.
but
Because
Yeah,
yes, when that shark head is dead, Ojo or Oho will go and summon. I don't know. I think it's a beast spirit that I'm summoning.
Well, okay, let's give Killjoy one more action before we go back to the rest of the team.
Okay.
So, Killjoy, is there anything else you want to do, or are you going to lie in wait?
oh, you probably hear me better if I unmute myself. Yeah. I'm going to wait for until I hear that the gunfire has stopped before I do
Okay.
anything.
All right. So, the giant floating shark head eventually deflates. Not to, I'm sorry, to be clear, it's not that it was fake. It's just that it had gas sacks that were helping it stay levitating.
Float.
So when you eventually puncture the gas sacks, it makes a very awful sound and very awful smell as it basically out of the air. No, awful, not cute, awful.
I tried to make the annoying squealing sound when you.
No, it's not the annoying squealing sound. It's like a really awful, someone's insides are turning outside fart.
Yeah. I've heard a couple of those.
And its jaws just sort of twitch on the ground, slowly getting slower until they stop moving altogether.
Oh no, we Pac-Man.
Yes, except he was bluish in color rather than yellow.
Suffocating Pac-Man.
So what do the rest of you do now that you've killed the giant shark monstrosity?
Well, Killjoy sent us directions to where to find Miss Redfield, so let's go find Miss Redfield.
And yeah. I think to disable or stun someone, I would be best served by a manipulation spirit. I guess. I don't know.
If you want a spirit to attack, the attack spirits are the best. Combat
Okay,
spirit,
yeah.
sorry.
I'm just looking at the Aztec tradition, and combat, it says guardian, detection fire, health plant, illusion water, manipulation beast, and that's are the spirits listed.
So guardian would be the most appropriate to fighting.
Okay, well, Oiho would summon a big guardian spirit then, which probably would take the form of a very a very
Traditional
Aztec looking
warrior?
warrior type person with a big mohawk, though it would have a
Yeah.
jaguar head.
Well, then no mohawk because it's got a jaguar head.
A jaguar can have a mohawk.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a skinned jaguar head as a hat.
Well, or that, but I figure it has to look somewhat mystical, so...
Oh, okay. Go ahead and roll your summoning and then your resistance roll. Bearing in mind your penalties from the damage you've taken previously.
Okay, I don't know how much damage I've taken previously, but I assume it's...
Well, you'd taken 4 stun damage, so that's a -1. And then you rolled, what, force 4 fireball?
Yes, I think so.
So with fire spell, force 4 would be 5, and you rolled 2 to resist, so another 3, so you're at -2.
Great. It'll just get worse and worse. I'll preach at you then.
Yeah, magic is really, really powerful as long as you don't, destroy yourself casting spells. with
Well, as
some of
long
these
as you roll
spirits.
decently as well.
Yes, exactly. Oh, well, what force spirit is this going to be?
I'm going for 5 again.
Okay, you have to resist 4 stun damage. There is no penalty to the resistance roll. So you're going to be at a total of -3 at this point now because 4 plus 2 is 6.
Yeah, okay. But
However, you have a force 5 guardian spirit.
yes, well, and basically Oil would go over. Yeah, I'm tired here. Go over to where this woman is. There's a woman there, small one. Knock her the fuck out. And yeah, that's the order he gives.
Okay, so that will have to wait until you get to the room there because the spirit can't read your comm link. It doesn't know where to go. So when you get there, it'll get there. So
And I can't give it directions by the comlink information?
no, because it can't comprehend that kind of information.
Oh, okay.
If you had psychically perceived where to go, then it could understand that. But the computer-based information is beyond its ken.
What is this 100 meters north you speak of?
But the rest of you are proceeding, correct? Or is anyone staying behind? Is anyone doing anything to Vincenza?
I think we can probably just
That's good
fire
navigation.
up if we have anything.
Do you want to waste time tying her up?
I thought we did already. That we
No,
already
you
searched
just-
and
you-
restrained her.
Well, nobody rolled to restrain her, so
Okay.
What would be the roll on that?
escape artists based on logic.
So that for me, that would be defaulting to 2 dice. Anyone better?
No, I am not any better if it's all based on logic.
Okay, so you've got 2 hits on having her tied up. And I believe Kara's at her second to last, or that she's got 1 more roll left in her.
And is it possible for me to try to help with that?
If
2
you
hands
want
better
to,
than 1.
if you want to roll, you can. So be it,
I will
Hauser.
edge. I will
Okay,
edge to
so
remove
make
the
a
glitch.
note, -1 edge to whatever your total edge is to get rid of the glitch.
Yep. So I'm down to 2 edge. I haven't
Make a
edged
note.
yet,
Make
so-
a note of it in text, please. Okay, so everyone's heading in then. No other specific activities?
Well, I said I would
How's-
wait until the gunfire stopped for my action.
Okay, the gunfire is stopped. What action were you taking, Killjoy?
I want to try and sneak behind her and, well, basically scare the bejesus out of her.
Okay, attempt an infiltration roll.
I have a feeling this won't end well. Do I still get the half from the urban, or
Yes, because this is similar to urban, but not exactly urban.
yeah? Just checking. Nope.
Very
I got
sneaky
completely wrong.
indeed. Very sneaky with 9 hits. Beautifully done, Killjoy. All right. So the rest of you make it about halfway to where Killjoy's located when Melanie's laughter peaks Killjoy, and one of the tubes next to the shoujo slides open, and essentially a cow flops out and then gets up to its feet. Yes, and it's one of those black and white cows.
But Shoji would probably put a 3-round burst in it just to be safe.
Oh, go ahead and roll for that. Yeah, the dairy cows, what are they called? A Holstein. A Holstein Friesen.
And if that would drop it, she'd just move on, but, you know.
So did she shoot it when it flopped out of the tube and landed on its side? Did she shoot it right away, or did she wait for it to stand up before she shot it? Also, Hauser, holy fuck. 1 hit on 11 dice. Sorry. go ahead.
Probably as soon as it started trying to get to its feet, it's like, you know, like, wait, no, I don't want that thing moving and getting up, so, brap.
That does remind me, do we actually need to still carry around this Vincenza person?
You not. You tied her up and left her at the entrance, as I understand it.
Yes.
Oh, should we not kill her then? I mean, she's no longer really useful as a bargaining chip right now.
No need to kill her.
Jeez, and I thought I was supposed to be the sociopath.
All right, so Bishojo and Hauser are both shooting the cow. Oyo and Sally, are you ignoring the cow and proceeding forward or not? Sally's proceeding forward. Oyo?
Oil will follow.
All
Definitely
right,
taking
so
up a rear position.
Oyo and Sally have split up from Bishojo and Hauser.
Oh wait, no. He's staying with Hauser, and I thought the whole group was moving forward.
Well, they're stopping to fight the cow.
Oyo will wait for that and probably order if he can have the guardian spirits help out with that.
Okay. So the cow's spine ripples and unfolds open, revealing a rack of missiles that are basically lifted and loaded out. This is a biodrone made to look like a cow.
Hauser looks at Bisojo.
Bishojo would probably dodge out of the way, assuming that these things are about to fire, given that it's...
Okay, so you want to do a full gymnastic dodge?
Yeah, that would probably be a smart thing.
So it's reaction plus the skill rating of dodge plus the skill rating of gymnastics. Or dodge times 2 if that's higher.
I'm quite certain gymnastics is better, although I'll have to check here. Where did it go? Here we go.
Hauser, are you also dodging out of the way?
Yes, he's doing a full gymnastics dodge as well. There's a rating of dodge plus reaction plus the rating of agility.
No. Gymnastics, dodge, reaction. No agility. Oyo, how about yourself?
Fuck. Well, I guess I have to dodge.
Yeah, but Shojo's not used to dodging. She's used to standing her ground.
At least it wasn't a real glitch.
Then again, she's probably not too familiar being shot by a
User in your
cow
channel timed out.
with missile.
Yeah, no, it's like these are closed quarters. The cow is already big. and now it's got missile rack along its spine.
And Hunter just timed out.
Damn it, Hunter!
Timed out though, not disconnected.
Well, he dropped from TeamSpeak as well, so still, damn it, Hunter. And Sally's just like, fuck this. But Oyo does the best dodge. Let's see. Hunter said modem rebooted itself. One moment. Okay. But while we wait, Bishojo, do you want to return fire at the cow as it starts launching its payload?
Yeah. Okay. She'll use her pistol for this one since she hasn't used that yet.
And Oyo, you can roll for your spirit's abilities. You said it was a guardian spirit, so
Yes, indeed.
what page is that on? Like 170 or something? Nope, not that far. Let's try 130. Oh, there's Toxic. So, actually, if I use my memory, I think they're like on page 80 something. Nope. Page 90 something. Here we go. Okay. Guardian Spirit is going to be 12 plus 2. So 14 SR4 from your Guardian Spirit.
And that counts towards my total roll amount.
Yes.
So that's roll 13 then.
Other than Hauser, you're all pretty much close to the end. So. Which is good because it's awfully late and I want to get this wrapped up. Oh, Guardian's doing pretty well for fighting. Sally, you've got one roll left, I believe. Is there anything you want to do yet, or do you want to hold on to that in case?
User entered your channel.
Welcome back, Hunter.
Thank you.
That is an
I had to-
incredible Thanos cosplay. But yeah, Hunter, you we didn't. Did the roll come through on your side or not?
User
Hunter?
in your channel timed out.
We lost him again. Fuck. All right. Well, we're just going to have to assume that Hauser is going to do what he has to do. So, Killjoy, Oyo, Bishojo, what do you do?
User entered your channel.
I would like to, like I said, try and scare the bejesus out of her by basically going behind her and saying something along the lines of, one monster to another. Give me one reason not to turn you into work of art.
Okay, go ahead and roll an intimidation.
You'll have to kick me from that.
You're not on map tools according to this end.
Ten will get you 20. He just lost connection again.
I'm here. It's Machi's currently probing.
Well, you can always ask someone to roll on your behalf, but I was saying we never got the results of your roll on this end. Did you finish rolling your gymnastic dodge on your end?
I did 8 SFR.
So go ahead
8
and copy and
SFR
paste
for
it
3
into
hits.
TeamSpeak.
Because it completely closed map tools, I don't have it. So I'll have to probably re-roll.
Okay, then. And was there any edge left for you, Killjoy, or have you used it all up?
I have used it all up.
Okay. Well, we will give you the results of that roll shortly after we see what everyone else is doing with their stuff. Bishojo, I believe you had one more roll left. Did you want to use it for anything in particular?
How many rolls do
Remember what
we each
roll I
have?
was at.
14 or 15?
Sorry, you got very garbled there. What was that, Desperado?
How many rolls do we have total each?
14.
Was it 14 or 15?
14.
14? You know what? I'll burst in at time to reinforce Killjoy's intimidation. You know, bust in, guns drawn.
Well,
Assuming that meets with GM permission.
you would have to run first, so you might have to ask one of your teammates to give you one of their dice.
Well,
I
then
would
I will
like-
wait to hear what the rest of them want to do.
Can I find out how many rolls I had left? Because I
Right,
lost all
so
that.
your last roll that we got here was shooting a pistol with dice roll number 8.
Okay, so I'm at.
Oh, no, sorry,
roll
that
9.
would be number 9, because your number 8 was the escape artist roll, so it was a typo.
And number 10 would be the dodge then that we didn't get.
Yes, so your dodge would be number 10, and you'd have 4 more after that. So Hauser, are you willing to give up one of your dice for Bishojo so she can first run and then attempt to assist Killjoy with scaring Melanie?
Yes. I'd be fully agreed to do that.
All right. Do the extra initiative passes help with running in this case?
You know what? Yes, it should. So go ahead and give yourself the +4 there as well. Hauser, do you want to take some action shooting at the battle cow?
I'll go ahead and take 1. Pulling out my Big Sour battle rifle. Guessing that doesn't change my dice pool though, does it?
Your dice pool is
Well,
based
you were
on your
using
weapon.
pistols. Yeah, now you're using automatics. So you reset all those penalties.
Then 4.
Also, Oyo, you've got one more left in you as well. Do you want your guardian spirit to attack Mel, or do you want your guardian spirit to do something else? Do you want to do something else?
If the battle cow is defeated, then yeah, the guardian spirit should hopefully engage Mel if that's needed.
I used my last edge for that roll.
and quite the reroll as well. So yeah, Hauser's going to be able to finish off the cow by the looks of it.
Let me check to see what kind of ammo is loaded. Thick and chalk.
So
On a
you've
drone.
got an electric cow.
Electric Boogamoo.
When you say tussle, Sally, are you meaning you're going to do a melee attack on Melanie? Okay, you can go ahead and try that. Shoujo, what did you want to do with your bonus roll on Melanie? Desperado?
Oh yeah, my intimidation. I was going to ask the physical speciality applied.
Well, I suppose teaming up with Sally and Killjoy, sure. Because you definitely got a physical advantage over her. Okay.
All right, then that's it for me.
Okay, and that's it for Sally, and I believe that's it for Killjoy as well. Or no, Killjoy has one more. Okay. So Oyo, I believe you have one more roll left.
Yeah, I'm very much in doubt if I should. It kind of depends. Does Melanie get kind of subdued by the rules of Bishoujo and I? Because I do have one more plan for the spirit, but if the spirit is needed to subdue Melanie, then I would use it on that.
So again, the way this works is the more hits you get as a team, the better you are overall. The story is exceedingly flexible here. It's the opposite of how we do things normally. Normally, it's the story takes precedent and the gameplay serves the story.
Okay,
Here,
well then-
we do the flip side. Whatever
Then
your roles
I'm-
do result in what story unfolds.
Then I will then Ojo will basically take the spirit aside and quietly go, "All right, you go back and finish the unconscious woman at where we left from. Bring her heart to me."
Dark. Okay, go ahead and roll. Guardian Spirits.
She made a threat for later, and Oyo doesn't want any loose ends or threats coming back at him.
So yeah, go ahead and roll the 14 SR4 for your last Guardian roll.
And Hauser has 2 more.
And what is Hauser up to do then?
He's probably gonna run to follow Bishoujo and then look around.
Okay, and then you want to just look around, you said, as your last roll?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead
just
and do a
look
visual
around the,
perception then.
yeah, looking around the area.
Perceive
that
any
we're all in.
dangers.
Is this active?
Though you don't get that bonus in this mode. Okay, so I believe that's everyone's roles being completed. So sorry, what?
I
Oh
have
right,
one.
you have one more left. Okay, so Killjoy,
I
did
was
you
just
want to
waiting
find
basically-
out description of what happens?
Yeah, and what she's going to answer to my question.
Right.
know.
Well, with everyone else coming in as well, basically, Melanie is getting. Oh yeah, because Sally also jumped on her, as I recall. So Melanie will be upset to a degree, but also still kind of cackling with anticipation, saying, "Do you all realize with a flick of my finger, I can detonate this entire facility?"
Wrong answer, stab.
So straight up, that's all you're doing?
Oh yeah.
So no thought of a dead man switch. Go ahead and roll your stab.
Do I get my martial arts bonuses here, or?
Yes, those things do count.
Okay, and I can take a aim as a free action?
No, aiming won't get.
No,
that.
my martial arts has that.
Yes, but aiming and active perception don't count.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, it took me a moment to understand what you said there. So I think that's it.
Besides, your dice pool is ludicrous enough for this. You don't need
19,
that.
I believe,
Yeah,
if I
really.
look correct.
And if anyone has any edge left over, now might be the time to utilize it.
I had one edge, but I could not use it with the spirit, so. And by the end of it, I had such penalties that I would have been far better off letting my spirit do the work.
Let me see quickly. 16, because I have my specialty, martial arts. I get +3.
God damn it.
Yeah, I think that's everything. Okay. I'm
Okay.
using the vibro.
Indeed. So, ludicrous damage applied. The death is assured. But because of the nature of how this mini mission goes, I still have to make the rest of my rolls. And that means there is going to be a delay before I get the final results of this mission to all of you. Since I'm doing Star Trek Adventures tomorrow and I'm doing dinner on Wednesday, Thursday will be the earliest I'll be able to get the results to all of you about how this pans out. And then I'll be able to ask you whether or not, assuming that Melanie wins, I'll be able to ask you who among you is willing to take wounds, as it were, to let the team win. Pool characters do not get that option. Only people's active characters get to take wounds in this way. Well, maybe Hauser, more likely Bishojo, considering she did worse on the dodge roll of the battle cattle.
If it
Yep,
makes
she's
sense,
not
I'm
a
ready to
dodgy
give-
person.
Like I was saying, if it makes sense, I'm ready to give
So you're ready
quote-unquote
to
wounds
what?
to Killjoy as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, we've got a mission title idea. Maybe, but I'll leave it open in case someone comes up with something better. Because a single battle cattle, it doesn't really make for the most apt title for this one. But Major Knight. Zoo of Death, maybe. Maybe something along a Bobob's suggestion of the island of Dr. Monroe. Maybe, something of that nature.
Oh, I like the one from Odette, but I like that one.
What?
A Island of Dr. Monroe is related thing. I like that.
The sewer
Sewer
of
of
Dr.
Dr. Monroe.
Redfield?
Yes, I like it.
But yes, you will have most likely won this mission. Not necessarily, though. So, in either case, win or lose, you will be getting quite a bit of karma on these characters that were involved. But lose means the laboratory self-destruct activates and you aren't getting any loot. Win, you will be able to pick some choice materials from the laboratory, and we'll figure out what that is Thursday. Also, bear in mind, this laboratory is full of biodrones and chimeras of genetically manipulated nature. If you were to, say, get the data files that Melanie may theoretically have taken, those could be incredibly useful pay data for major corporations.
Or if
Oreo
somebody
will be
feels like
interested in
going
that.
mad scientist route. Yourself, mad scientist kid. You only need brain.
So for the mini mission gameplay, well, actually, let's just finish the recording here. Thank you all.